Hello everyone. In this video I want to explain how to construct and make the measurements for the lab called the Voltaic Pile. At this point hopefully you went out and you've watched the pre-lab video on the Voltaic Pile. If you haven't done so, you might want to go do that first. Okay, we are going to construct using pennies and zinc washers three voltaic cells, and then we're going to assemble them into a voltaic pile. Now, the first thing we want to do is create a solution of vinegar, regular white vinegar, and we need about 50 milliliters, not a lot, and some sodium chloride. This is going to be our electrolyte solution for the cells, and we're just going to create this solution here. We're going to make our cells out of these pennies, but we need to first make a salt bridge. Now, what I want to do here is cut out some little squares that are quite small, not a whole lot bigger than the penny itself. All right, and that's going to be in between the copper penny and the zinc washer. All right, so we're going to create those. We're going to have 6 cells, so we need 6 of them. Now, chances are that you might already have this done if the class before you has already done it. All right, and then we're going to take these and put them into there because they need to soak for a while in there for about 5 or 6 minutes. So we'll put those in first and let them soak. All right, let them soak. All right, next we need to get these pennies and the washers nice and shiny. For that, we're going to use some steel wool. So get a piece of steel wool. Now, this stuff you got to kind of be careful with because it breaks apart into little pieces. But to do this, we want to put down some paper on the table. Don't do this straight on the table or the lab bench, or you'll wreck the lab bench. All right, and then you can just hold the penny with a couple fingers and rub on it till it's nice and shiny. All right, it only takes a couple seconds. Turn around, do the other side. All right, we get the whole head of the penny. Then we got to do the back side, the tail of the penny. All right, then we'll get our penny nice and shiny. We'll have to do the same thing with the washer. The washer might have some corrosion on it, and you'll have to clean that off too as well. Do it exactly the same way. Get the washer nice and shiny as well. All the way around, both sides, both front and back. All right, now as you use the steel wool, these little particles of steel wool are going to break off of there, and it will also be on your fingers. When you're done, make sure you wash your fingers and don't touch your eyes because those little pieces could get into your eye as well. All right, so be kind of careful with that. You should hopefully have a bag with a magnet in it, and if you push this over the little filings, they will attract right up to it. So will the washer there. But all right, so you can pick up the little filings. All right, so do that kind of in between as you're working there too as well. All right, so get all your pennies clean and shiny. Okay, we got all our pennies nice and clean and shiny, and the washers, both sides. All right, next what we want to do is clean up this mess. Pick up all the stray filings, and then go wash your hands before you continue. Okay, we're ready to assemble our voltaic cells. What we're going to do is start by putting the pennies on the foil here, and then we'll have to take one of these little blotting papers that contain the electrolyte, which has ions in it, sodium and chloride ions, as well as hydrogen and acetate ions, because that vinegar has sodium acetate. Put one of those on top of the penny, put one of the washers on top of that, and that right there is one voltaic cell. It has copper on one side and zinc on the other side and electrolyte in the middle, the salt bridge. All right, you're going to make all 6 cells exactly the same way. All right, I got all 6 cells put together. Penny on the bottom, cardboard soaked in solution, and zinc on the top, zinc washer on the top. Now, next thing we got to do is measure the voltage of each one, and with that we're going to use a multimeter, and they all might look a little different, but you're going to set it to measure volts DC. It has a couple of electrodes. I'll set this up right there so we can kind of see it. Maybe we can see it right here. And what you'll do is put one on the aluminum foil and the other one on the top of the cell, and that will measure the voltage of that cell. All right, you're going to measure each one separately. All right, record those voltages. All right, you can switch the electrodes, and do them differently, and notice that you'll get a negative sign and a positive sign for the different ones. Remember this, the penny is the positive, and that's on the bottom. So if I put the red positive there and there, I will be measuring it the correct way. That's the voltage of one cell. All right, you're going to measure each one, record that. They all should technically be the same. All right, now to create the voltaic pile, what you will do here is pile them on top of each other. So I'm going to take one cell, the entire thing, and set it on top of another. All right. Now we've created a voltaic pile, a battery essentially, which is made of different cells. All right, I am then going to measure the voltage one more time on the top of the stack. Notice the voltage goes up. All right, you're going to continue to add cells to your stack, to your pile, measure the voltage, add another one, measure the voltage, add another one, measure the voltage, add another one. You're going to have 6 cells all together. This is like putting batteries into a flashlight. All right, the voltages should add up. All right, that is what's called a voltaic pile right there. All right, once you measure the voltage of the entire stack, then you're going to try to make the battery light an LED. Light an LED. LED stands for light emitting diode. All right, they only like to have current go in one direction. All right, so it does matter which one you hook onto there, but you can kind of experiment with it. Now you can pick up your entire pile, right, and be careful not to drop it and make it fall apart. Now it's important that the cardboard pieces don't touch each other. Otherwise it'll short out and you'll lose some of your voltage that way. All right, so that's your whole pile right there. You can carry that around. All right, you're going to try to make the light bulb light up by touching it on the ends of the battery. In addition, you'll have to hook it up to a calculator and perform a calculation. All right, good luck.